So I'm Amatullah, and I'll be giving this presentation on behalf of Bradford Shade. So Shade is a Bradford-based LGBTQ+ youth group for young people of colour. It's the first of its kind in the city, and it is supported by LGBTQ+ POC youth workers from Bradford Council, like Al, and it's currently run by its young cutie pop members. Shade is a peer support group where we've created a space for us to learn, grow, and accept ourselves. So, Our Existence is an Alternative is a project about POC LGBTQ+ icons. The aim was to show young cutie pop themselves represented in icons throughout history and around the world. The artist, Sonia Sandhu, came to one of our sessions with this project, wanting our thoughts and contributions. The role models were chosen by us because of their personal stories and contributions to the LGBTQ+ community. Alicia Garza was born on the 4th of January 1981. She's a co-founder of the Black Lives Matter movement. She shifts conversations within the LGBTQ+ community towards Black queer people through the Black Future Lab. In 2018 and 2019, the lab ran the Black Census Project, which shows the diversity within the Black population. It also showed voting habits of LGBTQ+ Black people who have higher levels of engagement. So I chose Alicia because of her work towards intersectionality within the LGBTQ+ community and the Black community, and that made her a personal inspiration to me. Sarah Hijazi was a lesbian activist in Egypt. She was arrested, imprisoned, and tortured for 3 months for simply holding up a pride flag at a concert of a pro-LGBT Middle Eastern band named Mashral Layla. She was granted asylum in Canada in 2018, where she resided until her death. Her final words were, "To the world, you were cruel to a great extent, but I forgive." We chose Sarah because of what she had to endure. She didn't mean to be an activist. She didn't want us to know her story. She was just being herself, which in itself was a dangerous act. So this artwork is on display in the windows of Common Space Theatre in Bradford City Centre and will remain there for a few years for the young queer minority to see themselves represented. This is a story from one of the other members of the group, and they couldn't be here, so I'll be reading it on his behalf. As a kid, I used to watch Steven Universe in an undisclosed country in the Middle East. I never got to see the ending because the season finale featured a homosexual kiss. I was with a group of white people and they were talking about the show. I pitched in with, "I never got to see the ending," and said, "Now I know why," as a joke. One of the people said in passing, "Those backwoods savages." And that caught me so off guard because, first of all, the group was LGBTQ, and secondly, instead of pointing out the racist remark, everyone just nodded in agreement and swiftly moved on as if it was normal. I just stood there, not knowing what to say. I share this story to show that just because we, as the LGBTQ+ community, are a minority, that doesn't excuse the racism within us. Some people seem to think that just because they, as LGBTQ+ individuals, are a minority, that they have the right to look down on and make fun of other minorities. This is the reason that groups like Shade exist. As people of colour, we face all the same homophobia as our white counterparts, as well as homophobia from our religions and cultures. And that's not even including the racism we are forced to endure within this community in which we're supposed to feel safe and accepted. Just because you may be queer, that doesn't cancel out or erase white privilege. LGBT+ communities have existed and been accepted throughout history. In India, they have the Hijra, and Native Americans have Two-Spirit. In some places, it was viewed as so normal that some languages didn't even have a word for it, until colonialism. White people would come into these spaces enforcing their modern Western ideas. LGBTQ+ people went from being accepted to being persecuted. But Britain doesn't have an empire anymore. They don't own us anymore. We are here because we want to be here with you in this space, a safe space away from the prejudice and hate that we all face as LGBTQ plus people. What does the future of intersectionality look like when so many contributing individuals are not seen or heard or have been erased? Attitude changes in Bradford are going to happen from the efforts and will of young people who are challenging current unjust systems. And it's platforms like this that we are able to utilise in order to not just be seen and heard, but comprehended and truly listened to. And most importantly, to be accepted within these communities that we call home. Education and empowerment are at the crux of Shade, and we are not only here to learn, but also to teach each other from our lived experiences. #Black, Brown, Ben. Thank you.